Bingo.
My name's Sergeant Jeremy Wallace, retired 2012, served in Iraq 06-07, 15-month extended tour. John McLemore is going to interview me about PTSD.
Yeah, I'm John McLemore, Navy Special Operations, retired. Come here to do an interview with Jerry. All right, and I said, Jerry, on the questions here, anything you're not comfortable with, you don't have to answer. Just whatever you feel like. All right. Question one, how do you cope with PTSD and what helps you?
The medicines the VA gives me, they help some, but it's still not all there. You know, they calm me down, but I drink a lot of beer. It helps to calm me down some. Talking to other veterans that's been through the same thing, see what they do, what helps them, it kind of helps me, you know, and helping other veterans. When I see a veteran that's in need, a veteran that's in distress, as you'd say, kind of helping them out, talking to them, in turn helps me out at the same time.
And number two, have you ever exploded in anger at work, at family, or in public?
I explode in anger at work occasionally. My coworkers know that to tread light with me, not do a bunch of dumb shit around me, because it's going to end up bad. I've got 3 kids and they're young and they are rambunctious, and sometimes that'll cause me to go off on them, you know. I just can't take the running and jumping and screaming and stuff. It just bothers me so bad. And I hate it that sometimes I yell at them. But
I understand.
I don't know how to deal with it, you know. I don't know how to. I try to tell them to calm down, and they won't do it, and then I just have to walk outside just to maintain, you know.
All right, what about anger in public?
Anger in public. People coming up behind me, I'll turn around and snap at them. People yelling in public, they'll get told to shut the fuck up real quick when I do go in public.
Yeah, I have that problem myself. Service dogs, what's got me back out in the world. Number 3, do you have insomnia, sleep issues, and it is always the same dream?
I've got insomnia. Sometimes I'll sleep good, and then other times I won't sleep at all. And then sometimes I'll lay down in the bed and I'll wake up in the living room on the couch, and I'll wake up in the kids' beds. And I have dreams, vivid dreams of, you know, the things, different things that happened over there, whether it's IED explosion, firefights. I relive them all the time.
Are they always the same dreams, or?
Not always the same ones. I mean, usually it's the same dream. And then sometimes I get what they call night terrors. I'll wake up in a pool of sweat, but I don't remember what I was dreaming about. And I mean, I'll soak the bed in sweat.
Same here. You have flashbacks, an example, and does the incident or incidents repeat sometimes?
I have flashbacks, IEDs going off. Trying to do first aid on TCN drivers, all mangled and stuff. Something you live with every day once you've seen it, I guess.
And they repeat yourself? Or?
All the time.
Okay.
Can't get them out of your head.
Do you ever get emotionally numb? Not that it stops you from caring, it's just that there's nothing felt at all.
I do. Since I've been back, I've been divorced. I was married for 10 years. I was married while I was deployed. And I just so numb and disconnected that I ended up really just hating her guts. I mean, I didn't have any feelings at all.
And it's just toward her or for other people?
For other people as well. People try to talk to me and I'm just like, whatever, man.
All right, well, give me an example of your hypervigilance.
Hypervigilance. One example is I'll go to church with my fiance and her mom, and we always go in, and she knows that I'll sit in the back, so we sit in the back. And when I sit there, I have a plan. I evaluate where I'm at. I evaluate all the entrances, all the exits, and have a plan of action in case there is a scenario that plays out in there. And it's not just at church, it's at restaurants, it's at home, it's everywhere. You go through battle drills, you go through, I don't go through sand tables, but in my head, I go through battle drills of what will be my reaction when something happens.
Understand. Are you easily startled? Loud noises, someone slapping you in the back or tapping you on your shoulder?
I don't put myself in a position where somebody can get behind me most of the time. But if they do get behind me and startle me, usually ends up bad for them. Loud noises, like I said earlier, I've got a phone and it goes off like a duck, and sometimes that scares the crap out of me. Just sitting at a table with my phone. And then, of course, somebody slamming a door or fireworks going off unexpected, it really gets to you. It's a major trigger. Get you back in your head over there, you know.
Do you have negative thoughts, and if so, about what?
I have a lot of negative thoughts. Right now it's about this country and how naive everybody is. They haven't been here and saw what we've saw. They haven't been over there and saw what we've saw. And that's over here now. And y'all listen to this bullshit on TV. Everything's peaches and cream. But then you look, just yesterday, on the 16th of July, there were 4 Marines killed at a recruiting station and a naval station because our government is so naive. I think about it all the time. I'm ready all the time. Call me crazy, the VA does, but I don't think it's crazy. Look at the 4 dead Marines. Think if they would have had a chance.
You ever feel hopeless, guilty, and if so, how does that affect your daily life?
I feel hopeless because there's not much I can do. I go to the VA and try to cope with everything that's going on, cope with things in my head, and they really haven't found, there's not a way I've been able to yet. I turn to drinking, maybe smoke a little pot, that helps. But, of course, it's illegal. You can't do it.
Are you guilty? And how does it affect your daily life?
We messed with third country nationals a lot. And, you know, we were charged with taking care of them, providing their security. And they get took out by an RPG, and you go up there to check on them in their truck. You got a half a body laying there, of course you feel guilty. You had one job, that was to take care of them. That was your job.
How does it affect your daily life here?
You think about it every day. I've got 4 people I served with that since redeploying back to the States have took their own lives. I have guilt about that. I could have been there. I could have talked to them, said something to them. But I wasn't there. And now they're gone.
I got 3 flags too many myself.
They succumb to their injuries.
Are you ever engage in self-destructive behavior? And if so, what one example of how you gambled on the future?
I engage on self-destructive behavior. I've got a fiance who loves me. She loves me without a doubt. She don't understand what I'm going through, but she knows I'm going through something, and she tries to help me cope. And I always question her. I'm sorry you got to deal with my shit, and I'm sorry I'm so fucked up. And it's self-destructive because it's making her realize that I am fucked up and I am, messed up, but she still sticks with me and tries to help me the best she can.
I had one example on how you gambled on the future.
Bought a big house I couldn't afford with my ex-wife. Right after we got back from overseas. Probably should have bought about a $150,000 house, and we bought a $300,000 house. But I was getting my VA money and working. Should have been able to make the payments, but the ex-wife liked to shop too much, so we had to go into bankruptcy. Had to go into bankruptcy, foreclose on the house. Another house we already owned, 2 pieces of property we paid for, was already paid for, all of it gone.
How do your symptoms affect those around you, family, relationships, friends, co-workers, or the public?
I hate it for my kids. Sometimes I do get ill with them, and I get mean. I'll never hit them, but I get mean because I can't take a bunch of rambunctiousness, yelling and screaming, bouncing, and especially when they start arguing, I just can't take it. As far as work, they know to steer clear of me at work and keep the bullshit away from me. They understand. They don't understand, but they know to do that.
And touching on the relationship part and friends.
After we got back from Iraq, I was numb and disconnected from my ex-wife. We ended up getting divorced. And I guess there were several factors to that, but I just didn't feel anything. No feelings. I'm hoping this next one, she loves me, I love her. I'm hoping it'll work.
I pray that it does. All right, what do you personally think will help the most to solve the issues around PTSD?
I think that what helps me is talking to other veterans. I don't think we'll ever cure PTSD. It's not something that just goes away. But talking to other veterans and finding what helps them cope is about the best thing I've found. Maybe I'll try what they did and manipulate it a little bit to better suit me and see if it works out. And another thing is all these pills the VA gives us, I think they should start using marijuana to treat it. All these pills, and they want to cut you off your pills. It's like a game to the VA. Hell, sometimes you almost think they're trying to kill you.
right, what is the intensity of your symptoms?
Sometimes I deal pretty good. You know, I might go a week being pretty mellow, mild, and then something will happen. Whether it's something that triggers it or something somebody says, then I can get pretty out of control. I've had my mouth on the barrel of a gun before. I never did pull the trigger. I thought about the families of the brothers I've lost already. I thought about my kids having to grow up without a daddy. It gets pretty intense sometimes.
I understand.
Being in your own head is a bad place to be.
This is true. Jeremy, what's the biggest, most difficult thing to deal with that you feel?
Going into public. Going into public, there's no way I'm going to be comfortable. Restaurants, even if I sit in a corner, I'm always, like you said, hyper vigilant. I'm always watching everybody. Always got a plan of action. It makes life pretty difficult. Going to work, working at a federal installation that there is no security. And they think it's a joke. I ask them about security because if where I work at was attacked, it could wipe out a whole city down below us. And they have done nothing.
Tell us you've been successful at dealing with your PTSD. What has made you successful with dealing with it?
The best thing that helped me was I went to some PCT groups with the VA, and I've heard stories of some that had people just in there with a bunch of bullshit, never seen nothing. But the one I went to, all of them seemed pretty legit except for a couple. And we'd talk about what made us cope. Talk about how to calm down when you get triggered. And I don't go to the PCTs anymore because I can't miss any more work. But I talk to a select few of them still daily or weekly about what's going on with them, what I'm going through. Just having a support system of people who've been there and who understand is probably the best thing, I think.
I agree with that one. Well, Jeremy, thank you for volunteering to stop the stigma surrounding this PTSD. That basically concludes the interview unless you have anything else you want to add.
If you ever think about taking your own life, stop. Call a buddy. Call a battle buddy. We're everywhere. We need to end this 22 a day and one service member a day. It is not necessary. You're solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution. Reach out. Ask for help. There's people out here that will talk to you that's been through the same thing and will help you cope.
Jeremy, thank you, brother.
Thank you, John.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for talking with us.